Shalom, shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Father, Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone that taught us truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopeful light, person is truth and honesty, sincerity. This is Brother Yabasap, coming at you to love lesson to the spirit power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Update on end times and events. As you can see, you got the protests turning up and getting pretty violent and heated over in Chicago. Okay, Trump began this month deploying ICE and the National Guard to the city of Chicago to quote-unquote gather up the illegals, as well as the crackdown on the crime and to clean up the streets. Okay, so we're seeing the beginning stages of that's being recorded and uploaded on social media as far as what's going on. Okay, and this was just yesterday from this video, and this is just one little area part of the city. And there's probably multiple areas of the city where this is going on, but this is on the east side. Okay, but we can expect more of this to happen. And you know what? It ain't gonna turn up enough. These United States National Guard isn't gonna be enough for what they're trying to do, because these members that are in the military, they feel some type of way towards their own citizens. They don't have it in them to turn up and get down and start gunning these people down like Trump thinks they have the ability within them to do it. They're gonna have to rely on exterior sources. Okay, and pretty soon it's gonna switch over from U.S. on the uniform to the label's gonna say UN. But it's gonna take some type of catastrophic event to get approval on that. Okay, but once they use foreign troops in here, it ain't gonna be no playing nice and just chasing people down and throwing tear gas. All right, they're gonna be gunning motherfuckers down, man. Jake is hard-headed. You want to try to control Jake, and clean up them streets, so-called. You're gonna have to really put it down to him, man. So this is just the beginning. Things could turn up. We told you all these times were coming, and you guys didn't listen. You didn't believe us, and now you're seeing it. The United States is officially using its own military against its own people, its own citizens. Civil war is brewing up. Okay, we're certainly in the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble already began basically last year with all the laws and the foundations being signed off and put in place. But now they can physically, put boots on the ground and get busy. And they're beginning to do it, man. Okay? And all them people that's out there, hey, they're not ready for what's coming. And even them troops, they're not ready for what's coming. The Lord's going to continue to intensify this spirit, and things are going to begin to get really violent. What you're seeing is this scene is about to happen nationwide, and it's going to multiply times 10. So we just keep watching and seeing, how this unfolds and plays out. Because he's got a lot of cities on that list that he wants to do this. They just passed it to where they want this in Kansas City too. They just agreed to have it in Missouri's person, the governor, whoever it was. He just passed it and approved ICE to come out here. So in every capital or every major U.S. city, you have this scene. It's going to start catching the attention from the UN. And Trump's going to need some help with all this. And they've already got the blueprint, the foundations for the UN to roll out. They got the vehicle set up over here, with the UN letters painted on the side. Up armor. I'm talking about up armor vehicles. Drones and all sorts of shit they've been stockpiling up over the years. So when they really ready to get loose on you people, they're going to do it. They're going to do it, man. Okay, and we're already at the brink of them calling martial law, Because once this stuff intensifies, that's a wrap, man. That's it. Okay. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Woe means destruction and war, death, okay, danger. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So you see this happening right there in the videos. One people standing up and fight against another, swords in their hands. Your modern day sword is your gun, your rifle, your pistol, okay, your machine gun, your shotgun. Those are all modern day swords referenced to within the scriptures. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Now you look up that word sedition. Okay, I always like to bring this definition out. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Okay, so you got people rebelling against the state, in other words, protesting against the state. Okay, protesting against the government, the kingdom that they're in, and invading one another. Should not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're invading one another. Trump is using, the military to invade against his own people, his own citizens, I should say. Invading one another, not regard their kings nor princes. So the other people in the crowd, they're not giving a fuck about what these orders are for Trump. They're saying fuck the police and fuck Trump, They're throwing shit in bottles and all sorts of stuff, man. Because in the course of their actions, they'll stand in their power. So they just doing what they want to do. So what's coming next? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They're going to start shutting down flights and vehicle traffic from state to state, closing highways, putting blockades up, and requiring specific identification to cross. And you know what that identification is going to be? That digital ID. And you know what that digital ID is? That CHIP, the mark of the you-know-what, the mark of the beast, man. Pretty soon they're going to push that out. And did you just pay attention to the news, how it was made mandatory over there in the UK? So what you think about to happen over here? Because their justification in the UK is for immigration, illegal immigration. Is this not what ICE is deployed for in every city? So you best believe that digital ID is coming here. They're going to call martial law, shut shit down, and require you to get it. This is for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So you're going to have riots. You're also going to have food prices skyrocket out the roof to it's unaffordable. Okay, so you got people starving. They're going to ramp up the security for these supermarkets and grocery stores because people are going to be looting and just breaking in there, stealing shit. It was crazy, man. I was just in Dollar General around the corner from me, picking up some dog food, man. It was like around 8. And then all of a sudden, hear a little bit of commotion, and then there's nobody at the register, and because there's police officers coming in there, somebody just ran out the dollar store with a basket full of shit. Couldn't pay for it. You know why? Because food stamps getting cut because of the shutdown. They steal from that dollar store all the time. It's a nigga, man. But that's the first time I seen it. Firsthand while being in the store. I always see the sign that they just got robbed, so they had to close down. And somebody filled up their basket to the top, and then ran out the store with the basket, man. Dumped the shit in the back of a car and peeled out. So people are feeling the squeeze. I'm seeing a lot more people begging for money and for change. There was this old lady that didn't even look like she was homeless. She was just an older woman, and she was just randomly walking up to the gas station, and she wasn't dressed, bad. She looked like a decent, Christian old woman, didn't look like a bum or anybody that would normally be doing that, and just was walking up from car to car asking for help. Shit is bad out here, man. Real bad. Everybody's cars are breaking down, and can't afford the maintenance because of the mechanics are charging $150, $200 an hour, which is wild, man, unheard of. And the reason why they charging so much is because of everything is expensive, so they're going up on price. Oil's gone up, the cost to get parts, and there's not enough mechanics in the shop, to pay for, to lower the cost of labor because they don't have enough help. So the labor cost is going up because you got one person working on the vehicle when before they might have a partner helping them out. Might have, 2 or 3 people working on it and they can split the costs. Instead, you got one person that's working on 10 vehicles at one time, so he's charging a lot of money. So you got everybody walking around, driving around here, shit breaking down or trying to sell it and scamming motherfuckers and doing dirt deals to try to get out of a situation and get something, come up on some money. It's bad all around, man. It's gonna get worse because keep in mind the shutdown is still going. So the last time that happened, the shutdown lasts like 30 days or like a month. And I hope, I believe through the spirit, it's gonna be longer this time. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but that's what this place deserves. These wicked people deserve to happen. If it goes on 2 months this time, bye food stamps for everybody. Imagine that. Everybody doesn't have food stamps no more. And then they begin to dig into the stash, okay, which they have a stash for like Section 8 funds. So everybody's Section 8 is currently, basically funded, but it's funded via the reserves that are put aside. So usually those reserves are good for like a good month, maybe a month and a half. But as this progressively goes on and things become more expensive, that's going to pick up the pace on those reserves being depleted. It's not going to last as long as they're saying. So next thing you know, hey, come November, because hey, we already halfway through October, man. It's October 15th. The shutdown was just 2 weeks ago. That's how fast this shit is going. The reserves usually last about a month and a half. So you're going to start seeing a lot more reports of everybody losing food stamps. Number one, that's going to be the first to go. And then you're going to start seeing people getting cut off their Section 8 and they're not getting their payments to the landlords. So the landlords ain't going to give a fuck. They can't afford to pay. Everybody's getting squeezed right now financially. So if their property isn't paid off, they still got mortgage to pay. So they can't afford to have a motherfucker living rent free. And then they have to fit the bill out of pocket to pay for that mortgage on that apartment space. So they're going to just start evicting motherfuckers. You're going to start seeing a lot of junk on the side of the road in these apartment complexes. Mountains of fucking clothes and furniture from people being evicted and put out. You're going to start seeing a lot of trash. Okay? Don't go around of a area where they have Section 8 approvals. You're going to start seeing shit just being set out. And then people are going to be going to stealing their shit. Then you're going to see people fighting. You're going to see women sitting on the road with a bunch of kids, nappy-headed kids, looking dirty, with holes in their clothes, sitting there looking sad, with a sign saying, I got evicted, government shutdown, Section 8 wouldn't pay, I can't stay here. That shit's going to start coming. In the military, you're going to have people just going AWOL and quitting and running from the military. Here they are deploying the National Guard to do all this shit with these people, yet they're not getting paid for it. So you think they really going to take this shit serious and put them damn gas masks on and all that armor, which is heavy as hell? I know from experience, I was in that shit. They backs hurting and shit. It's hot as a motherfucker. They wearing all that gear, carrying all that ammunition. They getting spat on, shit thrown at them, pushed on, cursed out, looked down upon, threatened, possibly shot for the free, and they not getting paid. When a lot of them signed up just to get paid for their school to get taken care of, they're in debt, or they want to go to college, don't want to be in college debt, so they sign up. They ain't really they don't really want the smoke. They just wanted the benefits. Trust me, man. These are regular American citizens in uniform. Like, they going through the struggle too. At the end of the day, that uniform come off. Guess what? They got to go home to pay bills. They got to pay electric bill. They got to put food on the table for their kids. So they in the struggle too, yet they required to work for free. And if they don't, they go to jail. What? These motherfuckers about to take up arms and start fighting against the government too. Motherfuckers will be running and going AWOL. They're going to bring a draft, man. You see, these are all the things of how shit can play out. Even if they bring shit and close the shutdown and bring shit back online, you have to understand these prophecies will come to pass, man. This isn't a maybe we're reading about in scriptures. No, y'all gonna see this shit. Okay? It's looking like in this lifetime, you're gonna witness these things. So they might, end the government shutdown and bring shit back up. But these are like labor pains. It's increasing. There's so much going on right now with the brink of a nuclear war. The money is extremely bad. The economy is really, really bad right now. It's way worse than it was in 2019 before the C-19 stuff. So it's coming. These are things to meditate on and think about. And what y'all people about to see. You're going to go to a grocery store, and that loaf of bread you used to buy for $2 or $3 or $5 from Walmart, that shit's going to be like $80 for one loaf. Who's going to be able to afford that? Nobody's going to be able to afford that. So they're going to need to control entry and exit to make sure of who can afford to actually pay for shit and who can't. How are they going to do that? They're going to put military people, law enforcement at the entrances, and they're going to have a digital ID to get in and out of there. They're going to have to put you in a category, okay, which they've already been put. We did lessons and shows on this, man. People are going to be assigned certain financial classes as far as your status in America. The rich have a certain class, the people in the middle have a certain class, and the poor are going to be laid at a certain class. And they're going to run your credit, okay, your social behavior, all of that. And you're going to have a specific ID you're going to need to get access to all of these things, to include passports and whether or not you're legal to be here. These are the days we're living in. This is Matthew 24:20. It says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day." Right? There's going to come a day where it's time, the Spirit of the Lord, the angels are going to give the warning to the elect and the 1/3 of the nation of Israel that he wants to save. And he's going to tell them to flee. Get out of Dodge before something happens. They got to leave their homes and got to go. And the scriptures say, pray that time where it's time for you got to go, that it doesn't be in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, right? Because in winter, who wants to try to survive in the blistering cold, man? And the Sabbath day is a day of rest. So naturally, your body's going to be exhausted. Everybody's body is exhausted on the Sabbath because it's when you're supposed to be resting. Okay? It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be." So the worst time ever is approaching. Of all the things you can read about in the scriptures of mass destructions and death and wars, the times we about to see is going to be worse than all of that combined. All of that is what the scripture's saying. And this is in red. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. And that time is Jacob's trouble. This is Jeremiah 30:6. It's, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness. So something so terrible is going on that you got the men just crying, their hands, on their knees, they're hunched over, bawling out tears, man, and facing fear. Verse 7 says, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right. He meaning the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be okay and saved out of it. But the rest of you people, you wicked, you 2/3, you heathens, you embrace the world. Some of y'all fell out the truth. Yeah, you're not getting saved out of shit. You about to go through it, man. A lot of y'all ain't gonna survive. You're gonna have your kids taken from you. You'll be separated. You'll be put in concentration camps. You'll be worked to death. You women, you'll be raped to death. Used as, slaves and property traded for substance. Okay? These are some scary times that are approaching. And the Lord said that all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Must come to pass. So if you want some type of divine intervention and protection from anything, then you better repent right now and get right between the eyes of the Heavenly Father. Man. Pray to Yahweh Shem Shai. Fast and pray. Repent. And start getting in the mindset of just letting all this bullshit go, man. It's pretty vexing, some situation I got going on personally. But, I'm starting to meditate more on it. Like, all this shit about to be gone any fucking way. You're about to have no nothing. You're not going to own anything. You're not going to own no property, none of this shit. All this shit going to be gone. When this dollar collapses, how the fuck are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to pay your car note? You're not going to pay. Okay, so the government's going to come and take all that shit. You're not even going to be able to pay for the fuel because the gas stations are going to be drained empty. And anyone that are open, they're going to be charging so much, nobody can get in there. And it's going to be deadly just trying to get the damn gas because you're going to have people sitting there trying to ambush you and take your shit while you try to get some gas. You're going to have buildings on fire, windows busted out of everything. Vines start growing up buildings. There's no more city maintenance, no more employees. Everybody's homeless and broke, and every man for himself. These are the times that we're coming in. Okay, so just keep watch and start building yourself up gradually as these evil times build up gradually. You got to match the build up with your spirit. Increasing your faith and studying the scriptures, and be prepared. Try to work on your health the best you can. Brothers is getting into fitness and stuff, and do what you can, man. Do what you can to prepare. Make your calling and your election sure, man. First and foremost, put this truth at the forefront of all of this, man. Pray to Yahweh Shem Shai. He have mercy on you. And he preserve you. Because you're going to need the Lord for the protection. That's it. There's nothing you can physically do to plan for everything. You can go buy all the bug out bags you want. You can buy all the survival supplies you want. Who's to say when this shit kicks off, you even going to be within arm's reach of that shit? You don't know what you got going on. Everybody still got to work right now. Hell, you might be running to the damn grocery store real quick to grab something. And all of a sudden, boom. So alarm sirens start going off. A freaking missile hits at the parking lot, wipes out a bunch of people. Your car gets hit in the crossfire, and now you got to walk back to your crib. You're trying to get back, and everybody's panicking and driving, running over each other with their cars. Traffic's all piled up. Oh, can't get on the highway now. Damn, this shit happening quick. Boom, 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 boom. That's how that shit gonna go, man. So you can't plan for a damn thing. A lot of these people got doomsday prepper shows on Netflix. All that shit is dumb. A lot of that shit people done prepped, prepped it for somebody else. It ain't even gonna be for them. They're not even gonna make it to the damn bunker. That shit's for the elect, for the prophets that's been at the highways and hedges speaking these prophecies. The Lord's gonna just hand it to them. And they show you that in these movies, man. You know, like that one movie that came out that Obama and them directed. Shit, I can't remember the name of it, but at the end of it, basically it was like a cyber attack. You had planes falling out the sky and shit. I mean, anybody that been paying attention to what's going on in the world, you probably know what I'm talking about. And at the end of the movie, the little white girl, she stumbled across a mansion, and inside that mansion was a bunker. So she was chilling, watching Friends and eating while everybody else is trying to figure out how to make it. So that's how it's gonna be, man, for the elect. We're gonna be blessed with stuff like that. So Lord's will, this lesson's edifying. I'm gonna close out, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Tasha truth and will well. And cite this, you hope like pushing truth, honesty, sincerity. Shalom.